Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. It is hump day. This is Travis Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am the host of Late Night with Travis Michelle. Did you guys notice I just had the banner up? I'm going to get my music and my intro and everything going. But, I showed up, right? So sometimes it's not perfect. It ain't always pretty. That's why we talk about the ugly side of the backstory here at Late Night with Travis Michelle. I am Travis Michelle, your host of Late Night with Travis Michelle. So you know what? Let's talk about that ugly side of the backstory. What exactly is that? That means that there's stuff going on in life that is just ugly. But we don't put that out there. We only put the good stuff out there. We only put, got your lashes on, your hair done, your makeup, right? We don't want to show that what I look like, what I look like, what before we got ourselves together. So on the ugly side of the backstory, my guests will share what the process was for them to go through. And they are very transparent because, that's like I am, right? Y'all, I'm going to tell you, even if it makes me uncomfortable because it helps somebody else. And you'll come away with gems and actual tools to put in your tool chest on how to get through your journey. And then, of course, that success looks great, but you don't want to give up. And I want people to walk through it with confidence. That's right. My signature WALK method. Y'all know I was going to talk about it. W, willing participant. A, action step. L, love yourself. Probably one of the hardest steps. And K, kick butt unapologetically. And what does that mean? That means in order to walk in confidence, which then allows you to walk in power, which allows you to forgive yourself, you have to be willing to put the work in, to admit that you have some issues and some stuff to work with. Hi, Dr. Joe. Thank you so much for coming in. And then you have to put some, after you've admitted it, that mindset shift. What else do? You got to put some work in. That means you got to go to some therapy. You have to pray. You have to fast. You have to meditate. You have to lose that weight, quit smoking, change those habits that are negative. Get rid of those folks. I say get rid of, evict those people out of your life who are not bringing any value, who are just bringing you down. That was supposed to be there for a season, not for your whole journey. And then you have to love yourself, and not just love yourself by wearing your pearls and, your glasses and all of that, but spending time trying to figure out what makes you happy from the inside and loving yourself with your imperfections. That, yes, I may have gained a few pounds. I may have a faux pas, I'm no longer the size 10 because everybody ain't supposed to be a size 4. I'm just saying. But there's some stuff you've been through, and you have some blemishes. So that's what makes you unique, and you love yourself anyway. K, kick butt unapologetically. Don't ask anybody for permission to be who you are. Don't ask anybody for permission to accept you. Set your own table and then vet them. That's right. Check their background out. Check do they deserve to sit at my table? Yeah, that's what the walk method is all about. So we're here every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will find us here no matter what's going on in life, and you need to show up. So, yes, what exactly is going on? So, I need you, while our guest is coming on, make sure you have the chillin' put to bed, your you can take off your makeup, your eyelashes, everything. You put your bonnet on, but me and my guests, we got to look cute on TV. But I want you to be comfortable, and I want you to have your beverage of choice. So this is my beverage of choice, and it says, "Be stronger than your excuses." My son gave me this. You guys, if you watch it, if you're a part of my community on Facebook, you'll see that I have on my teal and my white, because 1 month ago, almost to the day, I was told that I had abnormal cells when I went to my gynecologist. Yes, I said the word gynecologist. Okay. We need to talk about that. We need to be open about it. And come to find out, I have cervical cancer. It's curable. And I just started, today was the first day of radiation. That's right, because I'm kicking cancer in the butt. But you know what? We need to take care of our purse. That's what I'm going to call her. We need to take care of our purses. We put valuable things in there. We birth children from there. It could, we have, if your ovaries or everything is not right, it can, you get hot flashes. You don't feel right. You're out of place. But we talk about everything else, but we don't give the credit and enough attention to cervical, ovarian, and vaginal cancers. And if you go to your doctor, even though it's not the most comfortable, y'all, it ain't, I admit it, but we still need to make sure that we're healthy. So you're going to hear me talking about that moving forward, because I wasn't talking about it much either, but we will be sharing. And I just want you to know, look, it's curable. So girl here is, I'm a confidence coach. You think that I was going to just like fall apart? I did for a couple of days. Absolutely. Every now and then it catches me, and I allow myself to feel. And it's like, okay, so you release that stress. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. But I know that God has a special purpose for me. And so I'm going to walk in my confidence. I'm going to, I'm in this thing with expectation, because I already said it's curable. So I'm in here with expectation, but I was in here with expectation even before I had the prognosis that, oh, this is curable, from two well-known international specialists in these hospitals. So I was like, I'm good. Y'all just come on, just tell me what I got to do. Just tell me what I got to do. See, that's the ugly side of the backstory. I don't know if I should have said that or named this show that, because there's always something going on. But you know what? We have to celebrate life. And that's what our guests are on here, to celebrate. I want to celebrate them. But we need to educate each other. We need to make sure that we can tell and be relatable and shed some light on what we've been through, and stop like, oh, everything was perfect. That's just how I woke up successful. That's just how I woke up with my doctorate, etc. No, it ain't. You had to put some work in, some tears. You had to struggle. So with that, I just want to let y'all know I'm going to do a commercial later, and I'll tell you some other stuff going on. But you need to know, because I know people are looking, saying, well, why is she wearing that teal and white? Because those are my colors. That's why. And you see me drink. This is my beverage of choice, because I have to drink 3 liters of water per day. So my son, Khalik, got me my jug. So that's what you're going to see me with every week. Okay, now sometimes I put my water in some, crystals and everything. Another thing, some people ask me, like, I always will have this in my rear view. And that's because my grandparents, I'm in their home. I now own it, and it represents their love and their ring. So that's what those Swarovski crystals are. And that's why it's there, because they're here with me, and my grandma's here. So that's why I got my pearls on. Okay. So with no further ado, who is our guest tonight? Look, I am going to announce some people. Dr. Joe is here. Tanya is here. Angelique, Cheryl, Francis. Y'all, thank you so much for popping in. Appreciate you. You know how they say in the South, appreciate you. So our guest tonight is Dr. Monique Flemings, an international speaker, coach, best-selling author, and serial entrepreneur that uses over 3 decades of leadership, healthcare, ministry experience to transform lives. She is a contributing author on 2 anthology projects with Dr. Cheryl Wood and Les Brown. Y'all know who those folks are. If you don't, Google them. That's what it's Google's for. She is an executive contributor in Brainz Magazine that reaches 300,000 people worldwide per week. Through Monique Flemings Enterprises, professional women are unmuzzled to walk in their authenticity and live their best life through coaching and digital education. Dr. Monique's motto is, you can transition and win. As a CEO of a self-placed consulting, Dr. Monique serves the total health of leaders, which preserves the future and legacy of their business. So, hey guys, aren't y'all excited? You know you're excited. I'm excited. Hello, Queen. How are you?
Hey, it's so good to be on here. Look at you.
Well, I wasn't popping on here. I wasn't gonna wear my glasses, and then I was like, oh no, no, mother has to put her glasses on too. So
you
that's
look
what I'm
beautiful.
doing.
You
You
look
too.
absolutely beautiful.
So do you. I love your glasses. Love your hair. So tell us, Dr. Monique, you're Dr. Monique. Tell us about before you were Dr. Monique. Like,
Oh,
what led you on that path? Give us just a little idea of who you are.
not a problem. Not a problem. You don't really have time for all of that, but I'm gonna try to share a little smidgen. Yeah, you see the doctorate, you think, oh wow, I don't know what image comes to your mind, but I am a woman who is an overcomer of fear. Fear was one of those things that gripped my life in a tangible way. I'm talking panic attacks, I'm talking procrastination, people pleasing, perfectionism, all the things that I teach now. Fear had me stagnated. But you couldn't have told me that, because I was believing that I was walking on my career trajectory. I was doing everything right. I felt like I was fearless, but at the root of it, I was really dealing with a lot of fear. So when you look at me, you see a woman who is an overcomer of fear. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching other women about how they can crush fear and win.
Excuse me. That's what I'm talking about. Because, like I said, we get caught up in our titles. I'm Doctor this, I am MSN that, I'm MPA that, But God doesn't care about all that.
No.
Just who are you? And that's why I always do that, because I have to be different. I walk by the beat of my own drum. I'm not going to do things like everybody else. Dr. Nikki, thank you so much for coming in.
Hey!
Thank you. So it's nice when people can see who you are
Yeah.
outside of that, because we
Yeah.
didn't wake up that way, but we had to go through a journey. So tell us now. So fear is strong.
Oh
I
yeah.
say false evidence appearing real, right? Then, in the church, we all know that. But how did you overcome that fear? And just give us one challenge that you were able to overcome
Hmm.
that fear.
Wow. Okay. One thing I'm gonna say, because I am a Jesus lover, I'm a church girl, I'm a minister of the gospel, and so I'm gonna step out the gate and crush some things right really quickly. And so, being in church, I heard that if I had more faith, that it
Mm.
could actually conquer my fear. So I believe that if I was having these fears, I just needed to increase my faith. Well, when I really began to read the scriptures and search for myself, I found out that that was not the case at all. The Bible says absolutely nothing about faith crushing fear, but it says that perfect love casts out fear. And so when I began to understand how much God loved me and how much he cared for me, I was able to then be able to crush my fears, understanding the precious love of Jesus Christ. So it's the love of God that helps us. That's why the Bible says, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. And so sometimes I think, especially in the church, we're fighting fear with the wrong tools. We're fighting fear with the wrong tools. And so that's one thing I do is I help women understand that faith is a part of it, but this is not about building your faith. This is about you understanding that unconditional, incredible love of God for your life.
Wow. Now, see, that's so interesting, because you notice I said fear, false evidence appearing real. And we get caught up sometimes when we're in church. And y'all, we can talk about it because we grew up in the church. All right, I'm saying. I know some of y'all may get a little offended, but hey, you'll be all right. You're
You'll
on
be
Travis, not
fine.
with TrevisMichelle, ugly side of the back story. But sometimes I think that we block our blessings
We do.
because we're listening to the man that was behind the pulpit standing there telling us stuff, but then because you don't want to go read the word for yourself, you take it for gospel,
No,
right?
you're right. You're right. And not only do we block our blessings, but we spend a lot of time fighting with the wrong tools. We spend a lot of time working in the wrong area. We feel like, oh, I got to do this, I have to do this. And that's not the issue at all. If I just turn and look at the word of God, God will give me the ingredients on how I can begin to really battle this thing of fear and begin to suppress it. So that's the thing. I think we do get caught up in sayings and just things that we've passed down from years to years, but at the end of the day, a lot of those things are not true. And we have to begin to search the scriptures for ourselves.
Okay. Now you thought you got away with it. So we want one example in your life. Now you showed us, now you've given us the tools, right? You've given us the backstory on
Oh, yeah.
once you realize. So now if you don't mind sharing just one
Yes.
area of your life where once you got that, nugget and you knew what to do with it, how did you apply that?
I'm going to share the one that I share all the time, and it's about my bug story. People that have been in my classes or heard my testimony before know about my bug story. Very briefly, this happened years ago, so don't judge me. Don't start putting on Facebook, Dr. Monique is afraid of bugs. Don't do me like this. This is years ago, years ago. Somebody say years ago. Years ago, okay, but I was a grown woman years ago in my home. I stepped out of the bedroom and there is a centipede on the wall. Seriously, the centipede was the size of a ruler. I had not been drinking or smoking anything. It was the truth. It was the size of a ruler. I ran back into my bedroom and called my parents and had them to drive to me 45 minutes from Chicago out to where I live in the suburbs. Of course, by the time they got here, I had left my home. Do you see how fear was working with me? I left my home and waited for them in a parking lot of the grocery store. By the time they got here, of course, the bug was gone. And I was just having this panic attack. That's when I began to realize that my fears were on overdrive and that my fears were not normal, because a grown person does not leave their house and call their mom and dad and have them drive 45 minutes and wait. But fears will do that to you. So once I began to understand the love of God, I began to put things in perspective. But that really helped me to realize that my perspective was off and I was making things larger than they needed to be. And so now, hey, I tell people all the time, I haven't seen a centipede that large again, thank the Lord. But when I see a bug, I can take a good shoe and I can kill it. I can kill it.
Let me tell you, I love that story. I had not heard that, but that's so true. Uh, Sometimes our fears are, they look larger than they really are,
Mhm.
and we make them bigger than they are, and we give them what? Power. Power
Exactly.
over us, and we lose our mind.
Yeah, I lost my mind. I gave it power. I was completely out of my mind. I was completely full of fear. But that was my first really like come to Jesus moment when I realized this is not normal. This is not normal. But I didn't realize how that fear had just almost grew up in me. It was rooted in me. It was reared in me. It was like almost like a generational curse. I had been around my family members, and when I began to look at it, it was just a normal thing. And so I didn't realize it until I went to work and I was talking about it, and I realized, okay, I need to really get this thing under control, because there were other areas in my life where fear was stopping me, not
Right.
not just the bugs. I share that as a funny story, but in relationships, in career moves, in really stepping out on what God has called me to do. I was that person because of fear. I was always asking God for another sign. You know how we do. If it's really you, God, give me another sign. If it's really you. And so that's a thing of fear. That's a place of fear, not trusting what God has told us to do. We keep asking for another sign.
Exactly. I just want to announce, I got to say some of these comments. Chandra Robinson, thank you so much for popping in. Dr. Yolanda Jerry, yes. People are like years ago, but that was a funny story. Um, Someone says, yes, I need help with those doggone spiders. That's true, because those centipedes are no joke. They can grow and they are scary. Perfect love crushes fear. Yes, you have to read the word for yourself. And I think we forget to do that. Dr. Yolanda says, as I was saying, false evidence appearing real. Mother Constance has joined us too. Thank you so much. I just like to, you know what? Um, a lot of times people have their shows and stuff, and I'm not knocking them, but I like to just acknowledge who joins, because they didn't have to. It's
They
10
didn't
o'clock
have
at
to.
night. Y'all didn't have to be up in here. But I am going to ask that you put out the replay, that you also go and share it on your social media pages, because other folks need to hear about this. Because, you come on to Late Night with TrevisMichelle, you just don't know what happens. People decide to just tell us all kind of stuff. I'm just saying. But now, so you realize that fear. Oh, thank you, Dr. Yolanda. You're in the bed with your bonnet on. See, some people know how to follow instructions. I said you're supposed to be in your bed, in your pajamas, comfy,
Oh,
have on, except us guests, because we got to look cute, which we do. Dr. Nikki says she loves our glasses. So
I know,
yeah,
I know,
all
I
right,
know. It's the glasses.
the glasses. Okay, but thank you so much, Dr. Jerry, for sharing it in your group. But and we're supposed to have our beverage of choice. Now, for those of you who joined late, I'll just have to repeat this. It says, be stronger than your excuses. I have on my teal and white because we have to protect our purses. As you know, I am a Thrive Her of cervical cancer because I started my treatments today. So you're going to get tired of hearing about it, and I don't care, because we have to protect our purses. And you know what? Some of us don't go to the doctor talking about that, but because of fear, we
Yeah,
allow it to take control of us. And because you don't want to know something, so let me just ignore it. Now, because you've grown up in the church and you conquered, like, okay, I know what I have to do in order to conquer this fear. It's love, reading my Bible, really understanding that, and you're applying it to your life. So after that spider, can you tell us? Hi, Geneva D. Ashley is on. can you just share with us, that was that aha moment. That was like,
Mhm.
look, chick, look, you need to change some stuff up. How did that help you then going
Oh
through
yeah.
on your journey towards,
Oh,
helping other people and transforming and etc.?
no, it took a long time. That was my aha moment. But because of what I have been taught and the tools that I had, I automatically went into I got to get more faith. I got to get stronger in my faith. And that's when I began to realize that I could have faith and have fear. Ooh, I know I'm stepping on some people's doctrine right there. Yes, because we really believe that if you have faith, then you don't have fear. First of all, fear is a natural emotion, okay? It's a natural emotion. So you can have faith and you can have fear because fear is a natural emotion, just like sadness, joy, happiness. The fear that we're talking about is that fear that's on outer drive, that fear that allows you to make decisions that are irrational, the fear that drives you. So that's a whole different thing. But it took me a while because I had to really kind of peel through some of my own teaching and some of my own belief systems that were just wrong to really get to the meat of God's word to recognize that God really loves me. And that was what I need to sit in. And when I began to sit in his love, then I was able to get my life transformed. And those are the principles that I use when I'm working with clients, whether they are believers or not, is really helping them understand the agape love of God for them, and that once they sit in that, they could begin to do and conquer whatever is before them. Because fear is a bugaboo. That's what I say. Fear is a bugaboo, and it will cause you to be in procrastination. People I sit with, they tell me they've been writing a book for 5 years. That's procrastination, and the root of it is fear. People
Mhm.
pleasing. The root of that is fear. Self sabotaging. The root of that is fear. There's so many things that are rooted in fear, and we make excuses for it, but it's fear.
Wow. And we've always been taught, well, you don't have enough faith if you're afraid. Well,
Correct.
what is that? What are you talking about? Um, or you haven't been praying enough. Oh, you talking about you who've been going to the altar every Sunday, not every, excuse me,
Yes.
every Sunday, crying and praying for the same thing, but you come out not doing anything? Are you talking
Right.
about that? I'm not sure, because what faith without works is dead. So yes, we have to pray, but we have to put it into action, and we have to
Right.
realize that we are made of human flesh. We're never going to be perfect. Adam and Eve made sure that was it. We want to always blame other folks, right? No, we need to start at the source. Once they did that, I was like, that's it, y'all. That you're done. But his grace will bring
Yes.
us through. And so we have to rely on him, even doing things when we're scared. So share with us, you know, now what made you decide to go and get your doctorate? And what is your doctorate in? Share us with us.
Yes, definitely. So my background is very diverse. I'm a physical therapist. I have a degree in physical therapy. I have a master's of education. I have a master's in biblical studies, and I have a doctorate in ministry. And so my doctor's in ministry, and I was just pursuing Jesus at that time. I wasn't thinking about anything other than trying to get my life right. I was trying to help Jesus. I wanted Jesus to fix my life. So I was just going to school, taking classes, and I looked up one day and the instructor said, you know what? You are like a couple classes from a doctorate. I was like, I didn't come here for that. I just came here because I love God. I need therapy. We weren't doing therapy back then. We was doing church. So I was in there. I was just in there trying to take classes and get my deliverance in between taking notes. And so I said, okay, let me go on and get the degree. I was sitting there at it, the D Min, and so it has allowed me to do other things with it, but my pursuit was never for anything. I really just kind of happenstance upon it because I was really on a journey of self-discovery, and I was eating God's word, and I really wanted to know what the scriptures meant. And so once I started getting in there and digging, you know how it is, I looked up, and like I said, I was sitting there with a degree pretty much in front of me. That's how I ended up getting my doctorate degree, my DMin.
Isn't it wonderful how God works? And
It
he
is.
told us ahead of time that some of the things that we have accomplished and are going to accomplish, we'd be making excuses. We'd be letting fear get in the way. Like,
Yes.
nah, I ain't gonna do all that. I don't want that. I don't have time for that. Or that's gonna be too expensive. Or no, that's gonna take too long. But he has a way when we put him in charge, right? Of just slowly, because he knows how we work.
Right.
Some of us, he has to be very direct, and we're like, okay, that's what we're going to do. Boom, you know. And I'm going to use Dr. Jerry. Dr. Jerry's in the military. Thank you so much for your service, and anyone else who's serves in the military. And so, you know, when you go to Dr. Jerry, she plays no games. She loves you, has fun. She's so much fun. But when it's time to do the work, it's like, boom, we have to do it like this. God come to me like that. I'm like, hold up. You sure? You know
Right.
what I mean? You know, I'm gonna have to negotiate, check it out. You know, I don't think that's what I'm supposed to do. And so he has to put it in other people's minds, and then it comes out, and I'm like, okay. You know, whereas you just went along, just being hungry and hungry for the word of the Lord and hungry to make a change. And so,
Yes.
congratulations on Dr. Jerry's laughing at me. Yes, that's right. I put you out there. Chandra Howerton, thank you so much. Patricia Goodman, thank you so much for joining, Dr. Patricia. Um, but you just kept going, and then you look up and like, wow, that's it. Well, you might as well. You're already there. So now, so you have that, you have your doctorate, and then you say, but it's not enough, and you want to really transform lives. So walk us, you know, short through that part.
Yes, I have my doctorate degree, and I actually pastored for a while. I'm still serving in ministry at my local church, so I pastored for a while, and just was on my trajectory, just doing, just doing what I felt God wanted me to do, and then just kind of going through life, and then ended up, with the ministry, and then now with my businesses that I do, and so now I'm so honored to be able to help men and women, actually, but to help people in this area of transformation around transitions, and especially when it comes to fear, because I really understand fear. So I wrote a book, Crushing Fear, and it goes with my Crushing Fear course and Crushing Fear membership. So I have that as a product for people, because I understand that really when you're dealing with fear, there's layers of it. It's nothing that really happens overnight, to be quite honest. There's layers and layers and layers of things we have to pull down and really begin to redirect our brain and redirect our thought processes around how we take in information. We got to deal with those triggers. We talk a lot about triggers. We talk a lot about triggers because those triggers are really, really important, because that pushes us into the behaviors that we end up having. And we have no clue where those behaviors come from because we haven't paid attention to the triggers.
That's right. And we're so busy, especially as women, as Black women, women and women of color, we're so busy just surviving. We're just
We
so busy. We got to
are.
get to the next point. You know, we're at point A. I need to get to point Z. Look, what am I going to do to get there? And we're very good at doing that. But in so doing, we lose who we are. We lose our focus. We people please, you know, and then next thing you know, you're sick, you're angry, you're bleeding all over other people. All kind of crap is going on. And then, but you know, we still out here waving the flag because you know I'm a minister, I'm an apostle, I'm an elder, I'm a this, and people looking at you. Yeah, but what you are is a hot to the mess. So
Right.
we have to sometimes God has to sit us down and say, look, because all right, maybe not y'all. I know he didn't have to do that, but he had to do it to me because,
Right.
like I said, I don't. A lot of people will talk about, you know, I pray, but actually, see, God is He's my everything. So we have conversations. So I was sitting up there like, okay, God. For instance, even going through and talking about fear, people have said to me, how can you be so confident and you're going through this journey? You found out you have cervical cancer 8 months ago. Like, you see how quickly I'm already in treatment. And I was like, well, one, I didn't blame God. I didn't ask him why. And
Right.
I even sat there the other day going, how come you didn't say that? You know why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's brought me through so much.
Come on
I
now.
had to deal with that fear. So
Come on
instead of
now.
saying, why me? It was like, God, what do you want me to do with this?
Come
Because I
on.
know I'm supposed to live and not die, because we already made a pact that you want me to share my testimony. So
Yes.
even though I'm afraid, even though I don't know, you know, what's going to happen, you want your praise. So that means I have to be alive. So you just tell me what I have to do.
Come
And
on.
that's how I've had to come uh, through this journey, and like unapologetically. So this is great. That's why when you said you would be on the show, I was like, yes. And I have to acknowledge all my herbassadors. Y'all don't know. Part of
Yeah.
the Herpreneur Network. We're over there on Clubhouse. I'm going to take a second and give this little commercial break. Y'all, I'm going to get commercials, actual commercials. But this is what we're doing right now. So, anywho, the Herpreneur Network meets every day, Monday through Friday. We're over on Clubhouse. Come in 7 a.m. Central Time, which is 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. and we talk, you just check in. It's women who are Christians, and we have businesses, right?
Love it.
Back in the day, that wouldn't even make sense. That wouldn't even go together in the same sentence. And we just support each other. So I'm so
Yes.
happy. And then I have Tilted Crown Squad in here that are supporting me. This is what the group I was with that from the very beginning, and we're accountability partners. And to all of you who are in the audience, hearing under the sound of my voice, this is Late Night with TrevisMichelle. I am the host. We are talking about the ugly side of the backside, and Dr. Monique Flemings is sharing her story and giving us gems along the way. Now, I admit, if you think that you're going to come in here and this is going to be, oh, yes, I believe in the Lord. And so, no, no, no. We got fire up in here. Because see, if you look at our comments, there's all kind of people up in here that are commenting, that are engaging, because we need to stop playing it safe. And the other thing we have to stop do is stop playing God small. You ask him to pay that bill. Well, that's what he helps you do. But you didn't say, I want my business to make $1 million this year. Huh? So that I can serve and I can give back. So let me tell you though, I'm talking all that, but I never wanted Late Night with TrevisMichelle. That wasn't on my plan. That wasn't on my list of things to do, but it was on God. So we're here every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Please make sure that you join us, that you share it, that you put replay if you're in the comments, if you're looking at the replay. We are now on YouTube. I know I got to fix up my banner and everything, but done is better than perfect, and we have to get it out there. And we got to do a skirt, and sometimes it ain't all purdy. Okay, I did. I said purdy, but you're here anyway. I do want to share with you that my journal, waiting on my Library of Congress book. I have my ISBN. I'm excited about that because
I'm excited for you.
Thank you. It's Bossed Up with Confidence. And we go through the WALK, which is willing participant, action steps, love yourself, and kick butt unapologetically. And you get to really write on it. You have to put some work in. This is not your typical journal where you just like aimlessly like, okay, let me see what I'm going to write today. No, it's intentional. See, I have people like Dr. Jerry. I have people like Dr. Monique. I have people like my coach, Dr. Miata. I have folks in here, Dr. Nikki, that is like, oh no, you have to be intentional. You don't just throw something together and this is your brand. And that's what I'm talking about. So I had to make sure that stuff came out right because y'all ain't talking about me over here. But it's going to be on Amazon. I'm excited. I'm going to throw that in. I also have a 4-week online course, which will jump off in January. So we'll be talking about that all of December, which will follow up with my 12-week program. Yes, and we will go more in depth going through the walk method because this is an actual blueprint and a tool that you can use. You can apply it with your fears. So you need to connect with Dr. Monique Fleming. You've been through some traumas. You need to connect with Dr. Yolanda Jerry. What you need some CMOS. Y'all better go on over there to Gail, God's Child, and check on that. And you need your branding. You need to see Dr. Nikki Ziegler. So it wouldn't matter if I didn't mention you because I could only hold so much in my brain. And we have to get back to our wonderful guest. Yes, so Dr. Monique. Look, that's my own commercial.
Girl, that was good.
You guys got to come on here, shame the devil. Hi, Jared. Thank you for coming on. My coach, Dr. Miata Hampton. I know I keep saying that. My coach, she's mine. I don't care if she's your coach. I'm telling you, she's mine. Anyway, we're going to keep putting people's their comments up because I think people need to be recognized. And when you're engaging, we need to share. Yes. Because then people are like, oh shoot, what are they talking about? Let me put that over here. But I do want you, before we keep going, because we can chat, tell us where we can find you, and then we're going to go back on track because I really need people to connect with you, and I'm going to type it in the comments.
Thank you so very much. I'm going to give you my link for my course, Crushing Fear. Okay. Go there. It's real simple. It's bit.ly/Crushing Fear. Go there and check it out. I got a special going on right now, and it's a membership program, actually. 6-month membership program. I think it's on sale for like $197. It's a great place to engage and begin to start taking down those layers of crushing fear. So that's bit.ly/Crushing Fear. My website is MoniqueFlemings.net. MoniqueFlemings.net. But go check out that course or that membership program. It comes with the ebook. I have a book called Crushing Fear. It comes with the ebook. And go start there because many times procrastination, people pleasing, self-sabotaging is all rooted in fear. And we always talk about like new year, new me, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that for the new year. But if you have not dealt with that fear, you're going to find yourself sitting, 6 months later, not doing anything because you have not had time, taken the time, I should say, to really deal with the fear and crush the fear and have a strategy so that when fear comes up, you are not defeated. So come on over and join me.
Okay, now, okay, Dr. Nikki, I hear you in my ear, so I'm going to
What
go
she
ahead and say
said.
it for you. Um, y'all, do you realize? Did you hear her price? She said a 6 month membership for 197.
Oh yeah.
That's an introductory. I'm going to go
Oh
take
yeah.
over right now. That's introductory because it's holiday time, but
Oh
that's not
yeah.
the real price because you're
No.
getting a doggone good bargain, right? And we know our worth. So you better grab it now because the price is going up. Okay, I'm sorry, Dr. Monique, but
Oh
I
yeah,
just had to
that's
say
my
that.
yeah. No, that's fine. That is an introductory program. It and is a way to get you into just the flow of who I am. And then you're absolutely right. I have Crushing Fear C Suite. I'm sorry, Crushing Fear C Suite, and that is for women that are CEOs, entrepreneurs, women that are ready to boss up, level up their business, but you've been stuck. So if you're a woman, you've been stuck, you haven't launched that business, or you need to shift your business, you need to transition your business. That is where I'm going to be sitting with ladies for 6 months, and that is my ticket where I really begin to help you with your business plan. In that program, we focus on the 3 P's, which is procrastination, people pleasing, and perfectionism. Those are the three things that need to be really dealt with if you're going to boss up, level up, crush your goals, and take your business to the next level. That program is launched in February. But I would say come in, at that level, get yourself ready, and then roll into the program in February. That's a 6 month program. That's a little bit different. That's for those that are ready to take it to the next level.
Okay, okay. I'm just saying because I just heard Dr.
You
Nikki in
know
my
how we
ear, and I
do.
just wanted to get her out, out my ear. Come on, Dr. Nikki. So you said procrastination, people pleasing, and what's the other P?
I was drinking my beverage, girl. I was trying to drink my
Just
beverage.
take your time.
Procrastination, people pleasing, and perfectionism. Perfectionism is that thing where we feel like we have to have everything correct before we launch. I like what you said earlier, girl. You said it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done.
Right,
How
right.
many of you, how many ladies on the chat tonight, if you could be honest, I know you got your bonnet on, but how many ladies on the chat tonight know that they have been dealing with some perfectionism? They've been waiting to write the book. They've been waiting to launch the business. They've been waiting to do the podcast. Come on, lift your bonnet up. Lift your bonnet up and say, yep, that's me. I've been waiting because I wanted to have everything right. I wanted to have this in order. I wanted to have the right team. I wanted to have the right connections. I needed the right lighting. Come on, lift your bonnet up. That's rooted in fear. You got
Right.
to deal with that.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. Come on now, tell the truth, shame. And people are like, "Oh, you're from New York City." Absolutely, but my grandparents came off the slave ship, went to Georgia, from Georgia went to Tampa, and Tampa to New York. So I can say all those things. And I grew up going down south, so that's why I have them all. But I also want to just let people know if there are people that are actually here in the audience, and I'm going to try to remember what everyone does. But say you're a mom and you need some coaching and you need to be a dope mom, because you got all those children, and including the husband. And you just want to make sure that you're on the right path. I want you to connect with Tanya McClurkin. And then we have also my good friend Angelique, who helps me with my online course. Then she was in financial 9 to 5. And guess what? She now teaches people to write their online courses. So we have, as Dr. Nikki would say, you always have everything right here. When you join the Herpreneur Network, when you come on there. So when you come on Late Night with TrevisMichelle, you just never know who's in the audience. And if you're in the audience, just put down there what you guys do. Feel free to do that. You're not taking away from us, because if we don't promote us ourselves, how is anybody else going to know about us? So we
That's
can
true.
share, right? Because what?
Definitely.
Yes, progress over perfectionism. That's what Shonda Howerton is saying. Somebody's being real honest. Chandra says, yep, that's me. So now that you know it's you, you can do something about it and you can change it, right? Waiting to wait. Oh, time out. Go ahead. Go ahead. I hear you, Mother Gail. That's right. So now you told us how it started with that centipede. I will never get that one out my head. So you
Girl.
started with the centipede. You then went to school and decided, you're a physical therapist, and I'm going to keep going to school, get my master's, and then worked your way up to your doctorate. And it wasn't even planned. That's just how you did that. Um, and then you were like, no, but that's not enough. I have to continue to serve. And I want you to just talk about that for a moment, because we can be so busy being busy, and then we get our business and we forget that, yeah, I always say, and this is from, oh my goodness, her name just flew out my head, but it will come, Donna Izzard. And she says, we got to get out of God's way. And we are the CEO of our company, but God is the owner. So we're so busy doing, we're forgetting that we're here to serve. So how do you help people remember to serve, busting out that procrastination, the people pleasing, the perfectionism?
Yeah, Donna's a sweetheart. Sorry, I keep forgetting you guys are in New York. That's right. She's a sweetheart. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm a servant at heart. I'm a servant at heart. It's all about serving people. It's all about serving God, serving as unto the Lord. So it doesn't make a difference what your title is or how many degrees that you have or any of that thing. At the end of the day, it's about serving people. How do people feel when they're in your presence? Okay. And that's not just in ministry, that's in the workplace as well. That's in the grocery store. That's wherever you are. And so that's just a lifestyle. And I believe that's a lifestyle of a leader. I'm a born leader. And so as leaders, leaders are servants. Leaders are not just people that have titles, but leaders are servants. They serve people. They look and they look for ways to serve people and to help people and help people transform. So that for me has been easy breezy because that's just really who I am. I have all the degrees and all that, but at the end of the day, I'm here to serve. I
And
really
that's
am.
what I love. See,
I'm here to serve.
like-minded people. That's
Yeah.
what we do. Like-minded people. When I first started out, as somebody said, y'all didn't know me from a can of paint. But then my bestie, who is probably on here listening, thank you so much, Monique. She's my bestie. She'll cut you, so y'all be careful. But when I started this, and I was like, Monique, who's nobody really knows me. She was like, wait a minute. God has been preparing you for 3 years. Since
Mhm.
2017, I was going on from work. You would see all my different. If you go on my IG and go all the way down, I would be on the car driving. I would come out from work before I would go into work. Y'all will see I had 15,000 wigs, but it was always about giving a message. And that's all I
Yeah.
cared about. I
Yes.
wasn't thinking about monetizing it. I wasn't thinking about,
Right.
anything. And then when COVID happened, and I said, you know what, God, you sat me down. So I need to now share my testimony. All right.
Yes.
I know that my journey was for me, but my testimony is for others. And
Oh
Monique
yeah.
was like, you've been doing this since 2017. You can do it.
Mhm.
So I need you to say out your mouth what it is that you want, that what you expect from God. And I said, I expect to speak on national, local, and internationally. I'm going to be on the stage with Les Brown and Lisa Nichols. This is what I told her. And guess what? I've been on the stage with Lisa Nichols and with Les Brown.
Wow. Wow.
I am speaking
Yeah.
locally, nationally, and
Yeah.
internationally. So we have to be so careful the words that come out of our mouth
Oh, definitely.
and walk with intention. So I love the fact that you help us to transform. So I'm getting nosy. What Give us a challenge in your life. So we know about the centipede, but now you have your doctorate, you're also a minister, you're a physical therapist. But what challenge in your life that just kind of shook you and you had to regroup?
Whew, there's a lot of challenges. Pastoring was a challenge. I would say starting the church was a challenge, but I would say when God told us to, or told me to close and to move on, that was a major challenge because I did not have a blueprint for that. I did not have a blueprint for how you move beyond ministry. All I knew was you start a church, you pastor, and that's all I saw. But when God said, I need you to shift and do something different, that was so hard. It was very difficult. It pushed me and my husband at the time pushed us into the unknown zone. It pushed us out of our comfort zone. Nobody knew. I hadn't seen that before. So that was very difficult because I had never seen it before. It put me in a place of transition. That's why I wrote the book
Mhm.
Mastering Transition. It put me in a place of transition. It put me in a place of really having to trust God just like Abraham did. When God told Abraham to leave his father's home, he said, I will show you a place, but I just need you to go. And we needed to go. And sometimes, when God tells us to go, we want the whole plan, but we don't get the plan. All we get is the go. This is what I teach all the time. You'll get the plan when you get in the went. So you got to go. When you went, then you'll get the plan. You do not get the plan in the go. Go is the command. He says, go and I will show you. He said, and as Abraham began to go, then God began to show him where to go. And so when God tells us to go, we have to go. And as we get in the went, then God gives us the plan and begins to show us. And so now I'm getting my preacher. I feel my preacher coming up in me now. It's because that was probably one of the hardest parts of my life, was to walk into a place of the unknown zone, people criticizing, people talking. I'm not sure. I've never seen this done before. God, what are you doing? But that was one of the best things I could have ever done, because I was obeying God, and he was moving me from a place of local, come on, to a place of global. And some people stay in a place of local because it's a place of familiarity. It's a place of comfort where you're comfortable. It's a place where everybody is excited about you being there, but it's a small place. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but you got to understand, if God tells you to go, get in the went. And as you go, he will give you more instructions, because he was taking you to a place that you've never seen before. And for me personally, he was taking me global. He was taking me out of a mindset of small into a mindset that had to be broad and had to be bigger and had to understand on a different level. He was getting me out of my own comfort zone, out of my own culture, and he was pushing me into a place where I had to really deal with some religious beliefs that I had, because he needed me to be able to go into the world, come on, and do what he has told me to do. So I'm just encouraging somebody tonight that is listening. If God is telling you to go, get in the go. That was probably my biggest challenge, is stepping into the unknown zone. Come on, moving away from my comfort zone, stepping into the unknown zone. But on the other side of that is the purpose zone. You got to leave your comfort zone, go into the unknown zone, and get into the purpose zone. And that is called a transition.
I'm just going to drop the mic. I don't think I need to say much. We're just going to sit for a second, and I'm going to share this on the screen, because I was able to type this really quickly. Marinate that. Step into the unknown zone to get to the purpose zone. I know some of y'all going to steal that. That's all right. Just give Dr. Monique Flemings credit. I'm going to say it again. Step into the unknown zone to go to the purpose zone. And a lot of us get stuck.
We get stuck.
We don't want to move. And you know what? And sometimes it's because we're comfortable.
Yes. Yes. Abraham wanted to stay where he was comfortable, but it was a place where he could not grow. It was a place where it was not this is the thing, people. You cannot stay in the comfort zone, because the comfort zone is not the purpose zone. The comfort zone is not the purpose zone. The comfort zone is not the purpose zone. But we want to make the comfort zone the purpose zone. And then the reason why you know it's not the purpose zone, because the comfort zone, you're having all kind of issues. You're frustrated. It's not working. These people getting on your nerves, because that's not the purpose zone.
Wow. I like the comments here. We have to share some of these comments. I mean, my goodness. Dr. Patricia says, thank you for sharing that. But that purpose of Michelle Anderson Benjamin. Hi, we went to high school together. Thank you so much for popping in. Cheryl D. Men says, done is what I am doing now. Yes. Char Michelle McDowell, thank you so much. She says, so good. And Shawnee West says, say it. You know, Dr. Miata said, child. See, you came on here, and we're going to have fun, because when you come on my show, I don't script. So people think, oh, you plan it out. And I pray. I was like, God, I look over, of course, people's bios, because everybody can't be on here. I'm just saying, because we don't align. Right. But I want it to flow. And when you don't script it, if you know what you're about, if you know who you serve, if you know what your message is, you don't have to script anything. We're so caught up in that paper, right? Because you have to do what? We got to know our purpose. Right. We have to be in that purpose zone. See, I didn't brought it back. I brought it back. We have to be in our purpose zone. We have to get out of that just doing. Why are you here? Be intentional about it. right? When you, okay, I'm gonna go there because it's after 10 o'clock. We got the chill in the bed. When we want to date that man, or we think, I don't care if he's a pastor or he's somebody that we met in the club, because y'all don't act like some of y'all don't go to the club. Anywho, you do it intentionally. You don't come out looking crazy. Now, you catch me walking my dog, I might look crazy. When we're going out, we make sure that, you know, the tatas are up. We got our hair did, our makeup on. We're intentional. We spend more time making other people happy and putting on a front for them, instead of being intentional and being in that purpose zone for ourselves.
Yes.
Huh? I don't know. Am I talking to myself? What? You know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely correct. That's that whole people pleasing part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole, we're looking for someone to co-sign on what God has already told us to do. We're looking for someone to say, oh yeah, girl, you're right. When we know we should be stepping out there and doing what he told us to do. And you're right. We're looking for someone else to give us a clue or to say, yeah, I'm backing you up. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. You're not going to always have a cheering squad. You've got to be able to step out there and do what God has called you to do, whether or not people are cheering for you or not. You got to learn how to cheer for yourself. Get your own pom-poms. Come on, get your own cheer. Do your own cartwheel. Stop looking for people to cheer for you. You may have a cheerleader and you may not. God wants us to be able to do what he has called us to do. Go and move out there without a cosign. You've got to be able to do that. And when you do that, he will reward you because he's waiting on you to be able to hear his voice and obey what he is saying.
Oh my gosh. See, y'all, look. See, a
I
late
didn't
night
get in my
service
flow
show.
now. I didn't get in my flow.
You know, y'all, and see, the thing is, the ugly side of the backstory, I'm sitting over here on, I don't, not even enough sleep because I was so excited to get started with my treatments today that I went to bed at 1:15, woke up at 4:30, was there for my treatment at 7, didn't get back home until like 12 because I had to do some other stuff, and then still stayed up trying to make sure the journal, doing other things, preparing to make sure I got my links, that other, you know, stuff is going on. So I just took a light nap, and quiet as it's kept, Dr. Monique, she's like dealing with her own issues and saying, girl, I hope I have some energy today. You know, and so the two of us are on here. Yeah. Why? Because we know our purpose.
Yep.
And see, God makes it like, oh, okay, you'll be fine. Y'all gonna be okay. But when you're here to serve,
yes,
you get that energy. When you're here to serve, we're taking care of ourselves. Thank God for Zoom. I really thank you so much for Zoom. Because we can be sitting down, have our pajamas on the bottom. Y'all ain't even got to know that, right? But we're getting the message out. And that's what I love about this. And I thank you so much, Dr. Monique, for just being so transparent. I just love it that the guests that I have on here, you guys are transparent. You're actually giving people that ugly side, but you're also giving them hope. You're also giving them vision. You're also giving a blueprint. Y'all, you realize that taking her course, you have to pay. And right now she's dropping gems free. I'm dropping gems free. Because being my online course, you know, it's an introductory price, but the price, that's not the actual price. You know, for my program, I'm just dropping the price. You see what I mean? But because God has given us this gift and we have to serve, we just can't hold on to it because we then would be disobeying him. Mm-hmm. So when you check in on Late Night with TrevisMichelle, look, what I'm telling you, I'm going to share with you that Dr. Miata Hampton, if you want to get your life right and have your plan, like she did, she snatched my edges up all the time. You want to definitely check in with her because that's exactly what you do. If y'all go look on my Instagram and you see my, well, actually, we're getting a new one. Shawnee is a Black woman who is a web developer that will get your, and you know, you hear about those other links where it's a Black woman who has a link, easytree.me, and get yourself together. And she does some great work. You see what I mean? We have people here that can help you get on your road with your business. Because that's sometimes what we say, that fear. Well, I don't know anybody.
Correct.
Well, I don't know where to start.
Correct.
So how do you help your clients? How do you help them figure out, get that blueprint as to how do I start? Where do I go? How do you help them with that?
One of the things I talk about in the class is toxic relationships. So I help people really understand what a toxic relationship is. A toxic relationship is any relationship. It doesn't have to be a dating relationship, but it's any relationship where you are not allowed to be your authentic self. Okay? A toxic relationship is any relationship that does not allow you to be your authentic self. So if you're in those relationships where you cannot be authentically you, you want to get out of it, because what's happening is you're allowing these toxic relationships to take up space where people need to come into your life to be a blessing. God is trying to give people to you. He is trying to give people to your life to help you grow and expand, but you got these toxic relationships. And so oftentimes you can't trust because you've been hurt, you've been, broken down, and we walk through learning how to trust God again, learning how to trust yourself again, and learning how to trust others. We walk through all of that because it's important, because too many times as women, we are out here all by ourselves, and that is not necessary, and that is not the plan of God. But that is a true evidence of fear. That is true. When you're in isolation, that is fear because you've been hurt. And I get it, but you've got to get back up and get back out there and learn to trust people again. You've got to. You cannot sit back on the sideline and not trust people.
Wow.
It's not healthy.
And you know what? That was me for a long
Me
time.
too.
That was right. See,
Me too.
when
Yes.
that's what I love about it too, when you're able to be a coach, but you can coach because you know you've been there.
Been there. Girl had the whole outfit. Had the
Yes.
whole
And
outfit.
the glasses to
Girl,
match
and the
the
glasses to
outfit.
match.
I'm just saying.
And was missing out on life, missing out on good relationships because I was hurt and I was broken. So I built up this wall. I'm not going to let people in. I'm not going to let anybody else hurt me. And we've all been there. But at the end of the day, how can I say I'm called to people and I'm called to serve people for God, but I don't want to be bothered with people?
Mm.
Especially in ministry. I tell people all the time, you cannot be a ministry gift and be angry at people. How much sense does that make? So you really got to get healed. And are you going to get hurt in ministry? Yes. Are you going to get hurt in business? Yes. Are you going to get hurt in just relationships? Yes, you are. But at the end of the day, you got to keep growing and keep, getting healed from that and keep moving. You can't say, oh, I got hurt, I'm not going to be bothered with people anymore, or I'm going to have a wall up. You can't serve people through a wall. You have to be able to be transparent.
Wow, I love that. I'm going to put up your website again because I want
Thank
people to
you.
make sure that they can connect with you. Um, Guys, I can't believe like the hour is almost over. See, when you
It
get
went by
rolling,
so fast. Yeah.
it did. But I want you to know that you can find Dr. Monique Flemings at www.moniqueflemings.net. And I want you, her motto, I love her motto. It says, you can transition and win. We think sometimes when we go through changes and we're making, we're doing that walk and we're growing and that, well, I'm not going to win because first of all, who's going to want to be with me? I may lose some friends. What are they going to
Oh,
think
yeah.
about me? Blah, 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 blah. You can't worry about that because God will bring those people into your life.
Yes.
Most of the people that are making comments and who, I'm part of Herpreneur Network over there on Clubhouse and part of a Tilted Crown Squad. I didn't know them. Some I haven't even met in person. But the folks that I thought were in my corner, I didn't hear from them.
Well,
They didn't
now.
support me. You see what I'm saying? And it's okay because I didn't expect them to. Because I want, once you show me who you are, please stay in your lane. Just be who you is, okay? But sometimes we get hurt because they're like, well, I thought they would support me. I thought that and then they're just sitting back wondering, like some folks, y'all sitting here looking at the replay. We're over live on my TrevisMichelle page and on YouTube, and y'all just sit here, you're eyeballing, right? That's all, you just looking. And you don't know who's watching. So you have to make sure that you're walking in your purpose, even when no one's looking. And you may think you're by yourself, but you're not really by yourself. So before we go, Dr. Monique, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. This has been awesome tonight. But can you just leave us with some nuggets? Leave us with a positive word before we go.
Not a problem. I'm going to say, first of all, girl, thank you for having me on. And you and I, we can talk, and we just met. And we can talk like we've been knowing each other forever. You're absolutely correct. And so I just want to encourage people to really be able to come out of their comfort zone to meet new people. A couple things I want to just leave is a couple nuggets. I think collaboration is so key. and so needed in this season. So I just always keep encouraging people to collaborate. Collaboration is not unity. It is respect of differences. Okay. Collaboration is not unity, but is a respect for differences, which means when I collaborate, everybody in my circle does not have to be like me, but I collaborate because we're different and I respect their differences. They have a strong area where I am weak. You know, I can learn from them. There's some things that TrevisMichelle does that are excellent. I learn from her, and then vice versa. That I may teach her some things. And that's collaboration, ladies. Get into relationships where you're collaborating. Too many of us are in relationships where we're not collaborating. We're in these relationships where we're all the same. And you don't really grow if you're all the same. You get into relationships where there is some collaboration. That's probably my big tip that I want to keep leaving with everybody. And then I'm going to leave this. This is one of my favorite Monique Flemingisms, if that's a word. I always say this. And so if you are procrastinating for whatever reason, if you are sitting on something for whatever reason, every time you procrastinate and make an excuse for why you cannot do what God called you to do, someone flatlines, someone dies, because what you have on the inside of you, somebody's waiting on it. Yes, do not let anybody flatline because you are procrastinating. Do not procrastinate another day because you don't want people to flatline. Woo!
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to type and think, and like all I can say is wow. I need you to repeat that again. So when you procrastinate,
Yeah.
you're allowing somebody else to flatline?
Yes. Whenever you procrastinate, you say, I can't write the book. I can't start the business. You know, I'm waiting on God. All the excuses. Somebody is waiting for you to step up and do what God has called you to do. And they die because you never stepped into your purpose zone because you were too afraid to leave your comfort zone and go through the unknown zone. So someone is waiting for you to write that book. They die because you didn't write the book. Someone's waiting for you to write that course. But because you're too afraid and you're dealing with perfectionism and everything has to be right, somebody dies because you didn't write that course. Somebody's waiting for you to start that business. You say, well, I don't want to start a business. You know, it's just a little something. It's not that important. It doesn't, nobody's going to come and buy my product. You don't know the one person. Come on. You don't know the one person's life that will be changed because you started your business. I don't care if God told you to start a popsicle stand in the middle of the desert. Do the popsicle stand because you don't know who it is connected to. I have written so many books, and what blesses my heart the most is when people tell me or they write me, and I've never met them before, that my book changed their life. My book helped them through situations that I didn't even know about. That's the beauty of doing what God has called you to do. Your books, your business will go places where you will never go. People will pass your books on. People will pass your products on. Somebody needs to know tonight. Stop procrastinating and stop saying that you're waiting on God because God is waiting on you.
What? Come on.
Stop it.
What? I was trying to control myself.
Stop it.
I was trying.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop tomorrow. I'm just waiting on God. Stop it. Stop. He's waiting on you. Now. He put everything on the inside of you. All the gifts, all the creativity. You have the anointing. You have the grace. You have the oil. You got the tongues. You have the intelligence. You have the degrees. You have the certificates. What more do you need? Go.
You just need to go. You got to get into that went. You got to get into your went. You have dropped so much value, made such an impact. I'm like over here with chills. This has been an awesome evening. I am so happy that you said yes. And I have to let you know, yeah, Monique, my bestie, she is on here. She texted me like, yeah, I'm watching. Y'all, we can't allow other folks to flatline. That means die. Because you're afraid. Because you're afraid to walk on faith. Because you're afraid to walk on faith and not do the work. Because you're so busy on your knees, but you got to get up off your knees and work. You have to get out there and meet people, even when you're afraid, because you don't know whose life you're saving. Queen, thank you so much. I got to tell a little tidbit. So, Dr. Monique and I met because we're her ambassador, which is part of the Herpreneur Network, and the visionary is Dr. Nikki Ziegler. So, can y'all imagine that I am her accountability coach? Well, that's Nikki sounds like. Wait a minute, Dr. Monique, you want me to be? Are you sure? But we just we play off each other. We help each other. We get on the phone and we'll be like, oh, that's right, we got it. That's right. We said we're supposed to be doing such and such and such.
Okay.
But we hold each other accountable, and
Okay,
that's what I
we
love.
sure do. We be way like, okay, what we oh, okay, you got your goals, girl. I'm gonna pray for you. Oh yeah, we be going in.
I'm just so happy that you're part of my circle as well. But I need everybody to know you need to see you back here next Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You just never know what guest I'm going to have on. So you need to hit the replay. You need to share this out. Make sure you have your drink of choice. You put them chill in the bed. You know, sometimes I always have my jug now because guess what? We need to protect our purses and we need to drink more water. So this is a reminder. I drink this whole thing every single day times 2. So I'm just saying, because we need to flush out our kidneys. In order for us to grow, in order for us to stop procrastinating, in order for us to serve, we have to be healthy. Because if we don't replenish, we can't pour into anybody else's cup. So thank you so much for joining tonight here at Late Night with TrevisMichelle. Please join my community over on IG. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube because I need some numbers to get up, guys. You know, I don't push it enough because I get so excited talking about what's going on in the show and my guests. But also here on TrevisMichelle, guess what? I am TrevisMichelle. You know what? You were waiting on that, right? You know, I am too much for some. Okay, you'll get over it. I'm not enough for others. Y'all just get on board. It'll be all right. But guess what? I'm always just right for me. So until next Wednesday, make sure that you are walking, you're doing the go to get to the win so that you don't allow others to flatline. Okay, that's what I got. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Until next week.